Welcome back, Poke fans. Grief is here with Pokemon Emerald. It's our second playthrough on the channel and I'm super pumped for you guys to see it. And while this isn't a hardcore Nuzlocke, regular playthroughs aren't really that challenging anymore, and as I continue growing and creating Pokemon content on the channel, the risks will increase. This being our second playthrough, here are the rules. Matches are set. I got a lot of comments on Fire Red suggesting I use set, and I'll always listen to the fans, so that's what I'm doing. I have to battle every trainer. That means gyms, hideouts, and routes. There's a 5-level cap for the ace of the next gym. I'm gonna try to avoid exploiting that unless I absolutely have to, but I don't think I'll ever have to go more than a few levels over before I reach the Elite Four. If I white out, that equals a reset. Like I said, this isn't hardcore, but if I ever white out, I have to restart at the last new Pokemon Center I healed at. The first heal at a Pokemon Center sets the checkpoint. No legends on the team. I can catch them and put them in the box, but that's where they'll stay. And lastly, but most importantly, win or else. If I white out to the Elite Four or the Champion, that's the end of the run. Do you think I have what it takes to beat the Elite Four and the Champion? Welcome to the Grief Lock. With Brawley defeated and us obtaining our second badge, it was time to head to Slateport and deliver this package to Captain Stern. We reconnect with Mr. Briny still waiting with Pico at the docks and ask him to help us get to Slateport. He agrees and we set sail. There are a lot of interesting sights on our voyage that I take note of, and a ton of trainer battles that I can't wait to come back and explore it all. And almost as soon as we departed Dewford, we arrive in Slateport. I say goodbye to Mr. Briny in search of Stern. I met some kids on the beach that gave me some soft sand before encountering a burly sailor on Liberty itching for a fight. He wasn't too much of an issue, but it seems like everybody on this beach is looking for a battle. I try as best as possible to not get too ahead of myself and end up getting caught off guard by this double battle. I mean seriously, who hides under an umbrella? These tubers shouldn't be much of an issue, but it's around this point that I start questioning some of the team member decisions I've made. But there's really not much I can do about it right now. But if some of these dudes don't start showing why they deserve a final spot, there's gonna be a lot of sad people watching at home. After stumbling our way through the beach full of beachgoers, we came to a shack with a girl outside promoting her dad's business like a boss. I enter and the place is full of trainers, energized by some sort of drink. I'm challenged nearly immediately by a girl and her Goldeen that Roshi makes quick work of. Then Yoshi pretty much makes a young child cry by brutally arm thrusting both his Azumarill and Marill. Last is a sailor who's got a Wingull, Tentacle, and Machop. The battle isn't too difficult, but again, it's a realization that the team and I still have a lot of growing to do. After those battles, I worked up quite the thirst and approached the man by the soda machine. So impressed by my battles, he gives me a 6-pack on the house. I then stand here for way too long, spending way too much money, buying way too many sodas. Sugar addiction is a real thing. After departing from the shack, I make my way into the town and discover a huge open-air market. Being the greedy American capitalist that I am, I have to check it out. This place has everything. Some cute dolls for your room or base, all the stat items you could ever want. And of course, I had to buy some Carbos. I had to sell a couple items thanks to my soda splurge, but I was able to sell a couple and give them to Roshi. He's gonna be the fastest sumo samurai Pokemon in the game when I'm done with him. I do some more window shopping and a lady gives me a powder jar for crushing berries. I'm never gonna use it, but I will say that this game sure does love its agriculture. Respect. After enough browsing, it was time to get back at the mission at hand, delivering this package to Captain Stern. I set off and noticed a large gathering of Team Aqua and walk right past. Mama ain't raised no fool, and I do not have the team to challenge all of them right now. I enter a warehouse where the address on the package leads me, and the guy at the front tells me that Stern went uptown to the museum, right where Team Aqua was. I decide to look around the building to see if he snuck back in without anyone noticing, and don't find him. Alright, well, I guess it's time to deal with Aqua. I prepare myself and head up to take care of... Hey, where'd they go? Guess this'll be easier than I thought. I enter the museum and oh my god. Looks like I found Team Aqua. I'm immediately recognized by one of them, the same guy from the woods who stole Pico. Not wanting any more smoke, he gives me a TM asking for my apologies and runs off like the coward he is. I try and challenge the other members down here, but my reputation seems to be making its rounds in Aqua, as no one wants a piece of my juicy cake. I head upstairs and see a man standing alone, staring at a model of a ship. This has to be Stern. I approach and he affirms my suspicions. I hand over the goods as two goons rush in demanding we hand them over. Always being taught to stand up for the little man, I position myself between them and Stern. It was time for a fight. The first goon sends out Carvana as I lead with Roshi and use Fake Out. It then bites as I Sand Attack, cutting its accuracy. It then rages as I Vital Throw, taking it out. The second grunt is up next. He sends out a Zubat and I lead with Roshi, faking it out. It then uses Supersonic, so I switch out to Gremlin, eating a Leech Life and astonishing it out of the battle. Next is his Carvana. One Astonish and one Nightshade and it goes down. Gremlin learns Fake Out, replacing Astonish, and the grunts are defeated. They look at each other dumbfounded as a man with a blue bandana enters. He introduces himself to me as Archie, the leader of Team Aqua. He starts rambling on about a group called Team Magma and wanting to expand the sea, whatever that means. He then threatens me, a child, and runs off cronies and tail without a battle. What a big man. Stern thanks me and takes the goods back to his shipyard to start developing his new ship. As I exit the museum, the random guy in sunglasses approaches me again. Obviously impressed by my efforts thus far, registers me in his Pokénav and I finally learn his name, Scott. Huh, I guess this is okay. Nothing stalkery about a grown man following a child around town watching his every move. Now he has my number. Great! I love Pokemon. Think anything more about it before running off to check out the last thing this town has to offer, the Battle Tent. I approach the entrance as Scott is leaving and he wishes me good luck and exits. Still not weird, I guess. I enter and approach the man at the counter and he explains the rules. Pick 3 random Pokemon and have a battle. If I win, I can replace one with a member of the team I just defeated. Win 3 in a row and I win a special prize. Sounds simple enough. I select Mightyena, Lombre, and swallow these nuts and proceed to my first battle. It's a cool trainer that leads Swellow and I bite, then swagger, then bite again, as all it did was focus energy as it goes down. Next is Seviper, and I keep biting away as it traps me with Wrap. A couple more bites, and it goes down too. Last is Kadabra, that sets up a Reflect, saving it as I connect with a super effective bite. One more bite, and the first trainer is defeated. Now I have the option to switch out one of the Pokemon I picked for one of Rebecca's, and I choose to trade Swalot for Kadabra. With the team reset, it was time for the second battle, Collector Donovan. He starts with an Aeron as I lead with Mightyena and Bite. Not doing enough damage, I switch to Lombre and use Nature Power Swift as Aeron digs. I switch back to Mightyena to take the hit before switching back to Lombre and Astonishing, hoping for some flinch cheese as it digs again. I switch back into Mightyena and take the hit again, just to keep biting until this little pain goes down. Next is Graveler, so I switch back into the Lombre to absorb its life points, while it hits with a freaking Magnitude 10 Okoing Lombre. This is bad. I switch into Kadabra, setting up a Reflect, then I hit it with a Confusion, critting it out of the battle. Last is Plusle. I use a Confusion before it can substitute, taking it down to half health. I use another Confusion, breaking the sub as it sparks Kadabra, paralyzing it, as Kadabra's ability passes the para onto Plusle. I switch into Mightyena as it substitutes again and it gnaws away the disguise. One more bite and the second battle is over. Between battles, I swap Lombre for Graveler, a decision that may come back to haunt me. It was now time for the third battle. Last Tamia, who's mad at her dad, sends out Nuzleaf. Mightyena comes out and bites as Nuzleaf uses Charm. I switch to Graveler and get charmed again. I really don't want to have to deal with love, so I swap into my female Kadabra. Realizing Confusion doesn't work, I set up a Reflect before switching back into Graveler and getting charmed. Annoyed, I just start spamming Magnitude, hoping to get lucky. I connect with a 6 and she switches into Beautyfly as I miss Rock Tomb. Graveler gets parried by Stun Sport before landing a Rock Tomb, taking out the Butterfly. Next is Cacnea that sets up Sandstorm and Leech Seed before I finally get lucky, hitting a Magnitude 10 and one-shot it. Finally, this Nuzleaf came back out. I try to get lucky with Magnitude again, but between Para and Leech Seed, I switch back into Kadabra to set up a Reflect as it takes the Swift. I then switch into Mightyena, getting charmed. Then, for 6 turns, I sat here in love until I finally start connecting with Bite and it finally goes down. The gauntlet is over, and my reward for all this hard work is A full heal? Are you fuck-